Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to show y'all how I make my delicious homemade from scratch banana pudding. Yes, this is from scratch. Everything minus, of course, the cookies and of course the bananas. So let me show you guys what I'm going to use for this recipe. I'm going to use 2 boxes of Nilla wafers. I'm also going to use 6 to 7 bananas. I'm going to use 4 eggs, 1 cup of sugar, 2/3 cups of all-purpose flour, and 4 cups of whole milk. Okay, I'm also going to use 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and these are the ingredients that I'm going to use here for the whipped topping. Okay, so let's start by adding 1 cup of sugar and 2/3 cups of all-purpose flour, an 1/8 teaspoon of salt down into your bowl or your pot, and you're going to mix this up. Now you're going to add 4 eggs, okay? You want to make sure that you mix this very well. You want to make sure that the eggs and the flour is completely combined together. So just take your time, mix this well. Now you're going to add 4 cups of milk. Just take your time here. I recommend you use a spoon here, but you can use a whisk if you prefer. The main thing is you just want to make sure that that color begins to change. So it should go from white to cream or beige. This is how you know that that's fully mixed. I'm going to use the double boiler method. This will guarantee that my custard does not burn. This was how my mom taught me to cook my custard, and over the years I've always just stuck to doing it this way. But if you don't want to do the double boiler method, then just make sure you cook your custard on like a medium low heat, and then you're going to have to continuously stir so that you don't burn your custard. I like to alternate between using a wooden spoon and my whisk. The whisk is going to help to break up the clumps that are going to begin to form at the bottom of the pot as your custard gets thick. Also, if you see any little specks of egg yolk floating in your custard, just use that whisk and take it right out. The custard is getting nice and thick. Make sure you stand by your stove, stir it, watch it. Just make sure that it's not getting too clumpy in one area and then too runny in another. We want to have a smooth and even consistency. So the custard took under 15 minutes to cook and get thick. Okay, once your custard is done, you want to add your vanilla extract, and you need to remove it from the heat immediately after you add in that vanilla. So now the key thing is to let your custard cool off. As it cools off, it's going to get thicker. So set it aside, let it cool. Let's start working on our whipped topping. Okay, so here I have a bowl of ice water. I also have some heavy cream in a bowl, which was refrigerated for about 30 minutes. I'm going to use my electric hand mixer, and I'm going to beat this heavy cream for 3 minutes. Okay, so after 3 minutes, now I'm going to add my powdered sugar and cornstarch. Then I'm going to mix this up. Okay, so now I'm going to add in my vanilla extract. And you can also taste your whipped cream from here. And if you want to add in more powdered sugar, you can certainly do that. Just make sure that everything is mixed up and make sure that you throw this, not throw, of course. Make sure that you put that in the refrigerator immediately to keep it cold. Once your custard has completely cooled down, now you want to assemble your banana pudding. Okay, so while I, assemble this banana pudding, I want to answer a few questions that I had in my community post. Shout out to Eli Rodriguez and Tracy R. Nelson for leaving your questions. Now I'm going to give you guys some tips to the best of my, what knowledge I know about banana pudding, and hopefully this will help you and anybody else who's had the same issue. So when it comes to the oxidation of your bananas, so there are a few things that you can do to keep your bananas from oxidizing or turning brown in your banana pudding. And the first thing is to try to eat the banana pudding within a day or two, or make single serving banana pudding cups and refrigerate any unused custard. And if you do it this way, you'll always have fresh bananas in your banana pudding. Okay, so that's guaranteed that if you store it properly, the custard alone should last for up to 3 days in the refrigerator. So the next thing is to use bananas that are just ripe and firm, or fully yellow with little to no brown spots. If your bananas are too ripe or if they have a lot of brown spots, they'll likely brown quicker. Okay, so thirdly, you could use some fresh lemon juice to preserve your banana slices. Okay, so you would slice your bananas and then you can squeeze some lemon juice over them. But be advised, this might make your banana pudding taste slightly tart, but it will definitely slow down the oxidation of those bananas. Okay, so lastly, I find that when I pour hot custard onto my bananas, I mean like very hot custard, this makes them turn brown faster. Okay, so maybe it's just me, but that's what's always happened to me. So I'll only pour hot custard on the bananas when I know for sure that I'm going to eat them right away. Okay, because that hot custard banana pudding is the best. Okay, so now when it comes to the flavor and taste of your banana pudding, the only way to ensure that it doesn't taste like artificial banana is just to make it from scratch. I promise you, once you try it from scratch, you'll never go back to using instant banana pudding, and you'll definitely see a big difference in the taste and texture of your custard. And also, speaking of custard, if your custard is soupy, it could be that you didn't use enough flour, or if your recipe calls for cornstarch, you didn't use enough cornstarch to thicken the custard. Okay, also the amount of milk used in the recipe might be too much, and it could also be that you didn't use enough eggs. So bottom line is, if you try my recipe and use accurate measurements, you'll have the perfect custard. So I used just under 2 boxes of Nilla wafers, and I used 6.5 bananas. So here is my whipped topping. It's very cold. If you take yours out of the refrigerator, and if it's kind of runny, that means it just wasn't cold enough. So you want this whipped topping to be very cold so that it'll hold its shape. So now that the banana pudding is assembled and done, you can just decorate it however you want to. I was just making this for me and my kids, my husband. So I didn't really care too much about decorating the side of the banana pudding. I just, did a little razzle dazzle on the top of the banana pudding though. But This was really good. Like, if you guys have never had banana pudding from scratch, you must try this recipe. So after you assemble it, it's very important that you refrigerate your banana pudding right away. You want to refrigerate this right away. And so we waited about 6 hours before we finally cut into this. By now, everything is nice and firm. The custard is nice and thick. That whipped topping is nice and cold and thick. So this was really good. Okay, I hope you guys will try this recipe. I know for 100% facts that you will love this recipe. And you'll never go back to buying that instant store-bought vanilla custard, vanilla pudding, because it's not custard, it's pudding. You'll never go back to buying that once you make it from scratch. And it's really not that hard, and it's really delicious. So thank y'all for watching. Be sure to click the like button. It lets me know that you enjoyed this video, and it also lets YouTube know to show my videos to more people. Okay, so thank y'all for watching, and I hope to catch you guys in my next one. Bye.